As you can probably tell by the fact that I'm on this show, I'm not what you would consider a bro. But I did used to hang out with some bros back in high school before I developed a personality. And one day I was hanging out with the bros and one of them asks the question. And ladies, if you don't know what the question is, it's, would you suck a dick for $1 million? That is the most important philosophical quandary for bros. That is the trolley problem for guys named Jason. Would you suck a dick for $1 million? And I was the only person who said yes. And I got made fun of pretty mercilessly for that, but I don't understand why. Because these bros grew up and became their final form of finance bros. And so now they're all about, working all the time. No work-life balance. I gotta just make my entire personality about making money. And if I keep doing that, one day I'll become a billionaire. But they wouldn't suck a dick for $1 million. Do these people believe in capitalism or not? I'm sorry, if you're not willing to give some sloppy toppy for $1 million in startup capital, then I'm sorry, you don't care about your business. What the fuck happened, Trevor? You said that truck nuts for your TV was $1 billion idea. And you finally get the opportunity to fund that venture, and you let that opportunity shuffle out the door with his pants around his ankles. Like, oh, you're all about that rise and grind. But once that grinding's on another dude, no more Mr. Business. Come on, man. Like, if you want to succeed in life, you gotta be willing to take matters into your own hands. And also your mouth. And occasionally a little bit in the eye. I've heard. Put your money where your mouth is. That's what that phrase means. Okay, I feel like that's that is not indicative to most of my comedy, by the way. I just like that's a very fun bit. Let's do a little bit of a palate cleanser. I feel like we all kind of deserve it. Let's do that. Let me do the opposite of the joke I just did. All right, who in here knows what asexual means? Oh, you're allowed to cheer. We're not in a classroom situation. There we go. Thank you. I know what it means, Mr. Cody. Now, okay, if you don't know what asexual means, I'd recommend learning what a prefix is. And if you don't even need to learn that many. It's A. It's literally the first one. But no, okay, if you don't know, asexual just means somebody who experiences little to no sexual attraction. So they just aren't attracted to people in that way. Reason I'm bringing it up is because I am one of those people. Surprise! No, I am asexual, and when I tell people that, they often assume there's some sort of like trauma involved, or I'm like repressing something. And no, it's not like that at all. For me, it's just that I think about sex the same way I think about In-N-Out Burger. Because when I was growing up, everybody just talked about how much they loved having In-N-Out Burger. How much of their life was spent focusing on getting more In-N-Out Burger in their lives. How much they just wanted In-N-Out Burger in their mouth. They were just obsessed with it, and I completely bought into the hype. Now, it took a long time for somebody to offer me some In-N-Out Burger. That should not be a surprise to anyone in here. But one day, somebody finally offered me some. And, I tried it. I went full force. I ate the burger. I got most of the way through the fries. by the time I was finished, I thought to myself, this is it? This is all this is? Really? Did we have to stop playing Mario Kart for this? Really? I was having a good time before. I don't know why we needed to switch gears. I don't know, man. And when I told my friends about this predicament, about not liking In-N-Out Burger, they're like, okay. But have you tried it animal style? And you know what? I did try it animal style. I am a fucking scientist. I'm gonna figure out what's going on no matter what it takes. So I tried it animal style. Didn't work. I went to go see if I had a taste bud deficiency. I did. I got it fixed. Still tasted exactly the same. So all this work, and eventually at some point you just got to admit to yourself that you're not a fan of having In-N-Out Burger. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Because contrary to popular belief, liking In-N-Out Burger is not what makes us human. It's chins. Look it up! We are the only species with a chin, and nobody knows why. All these other uniquely human things, other animals do them. Crows can use tools. Dolphins have language. Ants can go to war, and it's fucking brutal. But none of those motherfuckers have chins. That is our thing. We did it. USA! USA! Somehow chanting USA makes 0 sense in that context and all the sense in the world. Anyway, back to the stupid fucking metaphor. So even though I didn't really enjoy all of this experimentation that I did, I'm still glad that I did it. Because I learned a decent amount. I learned what I like. For example, I learned if I'm going to have a burger, I'd rather just make it myself. Because it's simpler, there's easier cleanup, I don't need to get another person involved. And plus, if you make your own burger 2 to 3 times per week, it can help with prostate health, so that's pretty nice. May have lost track of the metaphor here at some point. But I feel like we're doing okay, as long as we're all having a good time. How are you doing? You having a good night? You know who's not having a good time? The trans community. Yeah, I agree. That was I don't know why I went with that for the segue. I agree. Did not work at all. But anyway, no, the trans community is not having a good time. Like, people are shitting on them for a variety of different reasons. And the one that gets me angriest is when people refuse to use trans people's chosen names. Because, if we're going to be angry at people for that, we should save that energy for the people that truly deserve it. Bands that are actually one guy, but still have a normal band name. Yes! Yes! Woo! That person gets it!
Fucking bleachers!
Yeah. Because at least trans people aren't out here going, hello, my name is LCD Sound System. And when non-binary people name themselves after an inanimate object, it's one thing. And not, for example, an entire owl city. Hey, Kevin, how's it going? Actually, I'm Tame Impala now. Fuck you, Kevin. I'm not going to call you that. That is a douchey-ass name to call a single person. I'm so mad I'm not even looking at you anymore, Kevin. I'm looking at this side of the audience. Basically no, don't get me wrong. I do not advocate for dead naming people. Absolutely not. Unless they are bands, in which case that is perfectly fine. One trans bands are the exception. Basically, what I'm trying to say is stop being transphobic and start being one-man band phobic. All right. Speaking of trans people, y'all recently have given me an existential crisis, and it is entirely your fault. You see, I learned that apparently trans women love computer science. Now that is what gave me the existential crisis, and let me explain. It's all types of trans women, but especially those who don't realize they're trans yet. There are a lot of boys that go into college for a computer science degree and come out with a full cat ears and maid outfit. That is just a fact. Now, I know what you're probably wondering, why would that bother me so much? I'm clearly cool with trans people, so what's the problem? Well, you see, I am a programmer. And I clearly am not the most masculine person out here, right? So I was worried that, I was gonna have to learn something about myself. But I did some thinking and I realized, even if I were a woman, I really wouldn't want to change much about myself. I wouldn't really change how I dress, I wouldn't change my mannerisms all that much, and least of all, I would not change my name. Because I already have the perfect programmer name. My name is Cody Webb. And I code on the web. I'm a comedian. My name is a pun. It works two different ways. You want me to mess with perfection here? For the sake of my mental health? Man, fuck my mental health. If I ever cared about my mental health, I never would have become a comedian in the first place. One tiny applause, all right. I appreciate it, thank you. Okay, funny story about that joke. A while ago, I posted that joke to TikTok. Because I am on TikTok, at the real Cody Webb, 180,000 followers. Don't worry about it, no big deal. It's cool. I don't talk about it very much because I'm just humble like that. So yeah, I posted that joke to TikTok, and it does really well. So well, in fact, that thousands of trans women started following me on TikTok. But they all made it abundantly clear that they were there to watch me transition. Now, when this happened, I started having legitimate doubts about my gender. Not because it unlocked something in me, but because I'm just a really big people pleaser. And if I'm told that I'm wrong by thousands of people, I'm gonna at least consider it, all right? So I started experimenting. I started doing, dressing a little differently, hair, makeup, nails, all that sort of stuff, just to see if I would like some of the more superficial parts of being a woman. And the answer? No, not really. That's all right. At least I know now, right? At least I can now confidently say that I am not a woman. So am I a man? I'm a man in the same way that Kraft Singles is cheese. It kinda looks like cheese. A lot of people will just call it cheese. But if you look inside, you will find nothing of substance. Now, I have told that joke before, and I've had people come up to me and say, "Hey, Cody, it sounds like you're probably non-binary." And I agree, it does sound like that. But I will never admit to that. Because I don't want the comment section to be right. You don't get to give me an existential crisis and then just get what you want. No! Plus, I am very competitive, and you know what this means? This means I can win gender. And to do that, I will just continue to stay cis out of spite. All right, thank you very much. I'm Cody Webb.